You probably think rich people live in mansions, drive Lamborghinis, and wear designer clothes, right? That's what we've been taught to believe. But here's the truth. Most real millionaires don't even look rich. They live in regular homes, they drive Toyotas, they dress like anyone else. And while others are busy showing off on Instagram, they're quietly stacking millions. In this video, I'm going to show you how real wealth works, how millionaires build fortunes without drawing attention, and more importantly, how you can do the same, even if you're broke right now. Because here's the hard truth. The more you try to look rich, the further you get from actually becoming rich. Stay with me until the end. I promise you'll never look at money the same way again. And by the way, if this already hits home, if you've ever looked at your bank account and thought, there has to be another way, then do this right now. Hit the like button so this message reaches more people. And if you want to keep learning how to build real wealth, not flashy, but true, subscribe now and turn on the bell. This isn't just a video. It's the beginning of something bigger. Let's start by tearing down the biggest lie society ever told you about money. If you look rich, you are rich. It's a trap. A game designed to keep you broke while making you feel powerful. You see, the system doesn't want you free. It wants you consuming, spending money you don't have, on things you don't need, to impress people you don't even like. You think you're winning just with that new phone, those expensive sneakers, that car you can barely afford. But in reality, you're sinking. Every purchase made just to impress someone steals a piece of your future. Debt becomes normal. Saving, later, investing, someday. But that someday never comes. Because the more you chase status, the further you drift from freedom. Meanwhile, who's really winning the game? They're quiet, invisible, focused. They don't want to look rich because they already are. And here comes the scary part. While you're comparing, consuming, pretending, they're buying your future. They're buying land, stocks, and freedom. And you're left with payments and pressure. That's the lie. Looking rich is not being rich. It's time to break that belief right now. So why don't truly wealthy people feel the need to show off? What do they know that others don't? Simple. They've already won. They have nothing to prove. Let me give you some real examples. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, still lives in the same house he bought in 1958. No luxury mansion, no golden gates, just a normal house in Omaha, Nebraska. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same gray t-shirt every day. Why? Because he doesn't waste energy trying to impress anyone. Ronald Read, a janitor in the US, died with over $8 million invested. No one had a clue. He looked like just another old man in quiet, simple clothes. But silently, he built a fortune. Now compare that to the guy who just leased a BMW, maxed out his credit cards, and posts it all on social media. Who's truly rich here? Exactly. Real wealth is silent. It's not gold chains, rented cars, or monthly payments. It's peace. It's freedom. It's knowing you owe nothing to anyone. Millionaires don't need to show off because they understand something simple. Every dollar you spend to impress someone is a dollar not working for you. It's a dollar that could be invested, a dollar that could buy time, a dollar that could quietly multiply. While most people chase applause, the rich chase assets. They buy income, not image. And the irony? The people with real money rarely talk about it. The loudest ones are usually pretending. So no, you won't always spot the millionaire in the room. He doesn't look like the guy from the music videos, but he's there, watching others chase flash while he stacks gold. Now think carefully, do you want to impress or escape? Because those two paths don't cross. Trying to look rich keeps you stuck. Choosing to be rich, that sets you free. And that freedom starts with a new way of thinking, one that most people never learn. The average person thinks short term. How do I enjoy this weekend? How do I buy this now? But the rich think long term. How do I multiply this money over the next 10 years? How do I buy something today that pays me forever? That mindset shift changes everything. While most chase quick pleasure, millionaires chase future freedom. They don't ask, can I afford this? They ask, does this get me closer to freedom or trap me more? They value time above everything. Because when you're broke, you trade time for money. But when you build wealth, money starts to buy back your time. One more thing. Rich people love simplicity. They automate their savings. They invest monthly no matter what. They don't chase trends. They follow consistency. They know that boring builds wealth. They're cold with money. They don't buy out of frustration. They don't use "I deserve it" as an excuse to spend. They live with logic, not emotion. Because emotional spending is wealth's biggest enemy. And another thing they do well? They don't seek validation from anyone. They don't care what you think of their car, their clothes, or their home. They know their worth. And when you know your value, you don't need to prove it. And the best part? You can start thinking like that today. You don't need millions. You just need to shift your focus. From showing off to building. From impressing to evolving. Once you get that, you stop needing to show, and you start building in silence. That's when everything changes. Want proof? Let me tell you two stories. Two lives, two paths, two very different endings. Meet Daniel, school janitor. Rented a 2-bedroom apartment, wore simple clothes, brought a lunchbox every day. To the world, he looked poor. But Daniel had a secret. He read about finance, invested part of his salary in index funds, never showed off, never talked about money, just did the basics, every single month for 40 years. When he passed away, his family discovered he had over $5 million saved. No inheritance, no big salary, just consistency. His neighbors were shocked, but he looked so humble. Now meet Lucas, young, ambitious, loud. First paycheck? Bought a car on credit. Expensive clothes, new phone every year. Partied every weekend. On Instagram? Perfect life. In his bank account? Zero. Credit cards maxed out. Behind on rent. Lucas lived to look rich, but when life hit, unexpected bills, lost his job, he crashed. Because what he had wasn't wealth, it was image. And it vanished in a flash. Now think, who do you relate to more, Daniel or Lucas? And more importantly, who do you want to be 10 years from now? It's your choice. Every coffee you skip, every purchase you delay, every yes you say to your future. Lucas bought validation. Daniel bought freedom. One lived for now, the other built for later, and no one envied Daniel until they saw his numbers. That's the power of the invisible millionaire. He doesn't impress, he surprises. And you can be that person too. So, how do you apply this in your life? Cut the vanity spending. Look at your expenses with brutal honesty. Are you buying to show off or to grow? Pay yourself first. Always. Before the bills, set aside a percentage. Even if it's just $50, the habit matters more than the amount. Invest without emotion. Pick a simple strategy. Index funds, auto savings. No hype. Boring builds wealth. Filter who you follow. If your feed is full of flexing, clean it up. If your friends spend like there's no tomorrow, ask yourself if that's helping you. You become what you consume. And remember, you don't need to be rich to think like the rich, but you need to think like the rich to become rich. Now, let me show you the real cost of trying to look rich. Every time you finance something just to flex, you're paying with your future. You lose peace. You lose time. You get trapped in an image that's not even yours. And the worst part? You can't stop. When you live for image, you become a slave to it. And in the end, no one remembers the clothes you wore. But they remember the life you built, or the one you let slip away. But it doesn't have to be that way. Look what happens when you break the cycle. Before, anxiety, debt, endless grind. After, calm, progress, choice. Before, pretending. After, building. And that shift starts with one decision: choosing the invisible to earn the priceless freedom. If you're ready to take that step, I've dropped a simple guide in the description with everything you need to start investing and building real wealth, even if you're starting from scratch. And if you're still here, it means you're different. So make the most of it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell. Because this is just the beginning. The next video, it might be the one that changes everything. And thank you for watching. More videos coming soon, and see you next time, my friends.